All right, Kiss Army, welcome to the KissFAQ Podcast. Thank you for giving us your time today and letting us into your head. I hope you don't do any damage. This is a Kiss-related podcast by the board for the board. We hope that you enjoy.
Welcome to episode 157 of the KissFAQ Podcast. Sorry, no Julian. You're stuck with us today. I'm Lonnie Weissar, STL Kiss on the board, and on the panel with me today is Ken 69th Blizzard, Marcus Almighty, and joining us all the way from Japan is Alain, who is Balish on the board.
Hello.
Gentlemen, how are you today?
Doing good.
Very good.
Thanks.
Thank you for having me.
So, not a lot going on in the Kiss world unless you're eagerly anticipating your Gene Simmons vault. Other than that, we're closing up to another end of the year, and expectations are maybe high in some camps and maybe low in other camps for what's going to happen in 2018 with Kiss. But Alain is working on something special for 2018. Alain, why don't you tell us about that?
Yes, I'm very, very excited. I'm actually working on it day and night. Well, mostly night because I have to work. But a magazine called Budokan 78 will come out in January, in a few weeks. It's 72 pages and full of never-before-seen pictures of Kiss in Japan in 1978 Love Gun Tour. Absolutely gorgeous. You can trust me. Working very hard, and it's going to be a really, really fantastic item for people who like Kiss and people who like rare pictures. It's really, again, another labor of love with exclusive photos. So if anyone's interested, pre-order. Don't wait until people have it in their hands and it sells out. My address for ordering is balish@gmail.com. BALISH@gmail.com. You won't regret it. Thank you.
Well, Alain, if it's anything like your previous two, we're all in for a real treat because they're both incredible.
Yeah, thank you very much. If I could add, I think it's better than the previous two. So
look at
there
that.
you go. Yes.
How about that?
Wow.
Because the photos are exceptional, and as I felt if I couldn't do better than the previous two, I wouldn't do it. So the reason I'm doing it is because it's worth it.
That's exciting. It makes it even more exciting. So today, we mentioned that 2018 is drawing to a close. You guys talked a lot. The guys on the show last week talked about their highs and lows of 2017. So this week, we're going to look forward to 2018 and what we're anticipating, what we want, because Kiss fans always want a little bit more than what they're given, and they're never completely satisfied with what Kiss gives us. We always said, well, they could have done this, or they should have done this earlier, or they could have done this then. We're never completely satisfied with our favorite band. We always want a little more. If we can get another inch, we're going to take it. So we have a few different items we're going to run down, but with Kiss, since Kiss is obviously our favorite band or one of our favorite bands, we're going to talk about, and for me, it's always about the music. So let's talk album releases. What kind of album material are you looking for from Kiss in 2018? What kind of releases are you hoping for? And whether it be from Kiss itself as an entity, or are you looking for something from a past member of Kiss that would really...
Well, I'll jump in.
Yeah, go ahead. Please do.
Well, I'm hoping for two things. One, I'm hoping for that elusive Kiss Studio record, which they keep saying 1 minute, yes, we're going to do it. The next minute, no, we're not going to do it. So I don't know if one just isn't communicating with the other, but I really want that studio record. I really do, because, I mean, let's face it, they're, in my opinion, this close to being done as a band. I think the last thing on their plate to do would be that one last record, do that one last tour, and I think that'll be probably the end. I think the next Kiss Cruise is probably going to be the last one, in my opinion, too. And I think that they're probably, they have nothing to be ashamed about. They've had an absolutely brilliant career. I mean, even this is the thing that people don't understand, is that even if they did stop tomorrow, they have so many things in their archives and catalogs that people could be, enjoying Kiss stuff for years and years to come still, So I just think that I want that Kiss studio record, and I would really like to see Gene do another solo record with the current band that he's using right now on tour. That's what I want.
It's interesting. Gene to do a solo album with the band that he's currently using. I'd like yeah. I'm not going to go ahead. I'm not going to go right now, but Ken, why don't you tell us what you're looking for? Mark gave us a couple items he's seeking.
Yeah, well, like Mark, I would like a new Kiss album if they're going to do it. Let's get it done and get it out there. I would hope for one more. If not, I would hope that if they can get their rights back to all their music and tapes and whatever, and start working on their own, limited edition kind of or deluxe, sets of music. Get that kind of stuff out there. Otherwise, I would like. What was it? We heard something. I saw something about Peter's recording. His album. I saw that on the board today, I think. So if that's true, then yeah, I want a Peter album. I guess that rock and roll album that he, said he's been gonna do. He's been working on for 15 years, or I don't know how long. A long time. They just wanted to do it, and then Ace, and which I think he is going to have one probably. I don't know if it's going to be spring or what, but a new album, new material. So that's what I'm looking for.
Yeah, I think our best bet for new music will come from Ace, and I think he's always the most exciting member and thing to look forward to. It's always maybe the most creative of the whole bunch. As for a new Kiss album, of course, as a Kiss fan, you want a new Kiss album. I not holding my breath on that. We do know the only perhaps confirmed album will be Soul Station in 2018, and to be honest, I'm not I'm not looking forward to that one. Yes, Paul. Yes.
Yeah, we know.
And Paul. So yeah, I think another Ace album would be exciting, something to look forward to, and realistically in 2018, or maybe towards the end of the year, maybe a Kiss album. Why not? Why not a Kiss Cruise compilation? Who knows? That would be cool too.
Yeah, I agree. To what Mark was saying about a new Kiss album, I would like it, but I'm not hopeful for that, because I really don't see it happening. If we're to the point where we're selling our archive material for thousands of dollars to people who are willing to meet us, and that's the only way we're willing to put out a product, and I'm not trying to bash anyone who is buying it, that's great. But for me, buying 150 demos for $2,000 might get me divorce papers. So
Gene said, this model only works for me. Only I can do it. He's been very clear about that.
Oh, yeah.
He said Bruce Springsteen will not travel around the world and deliver this. I can do it, and no one else. So
right.
He's doing it.
Sure, he wouldn't do it. That's the whole difference, though.
Well, you can argue about that. That's for sure. Yes.
Right. So to me, I don't. That being said, I'm not real hopeful for a new Kiss album. If that's how we're marketing ourselves, I'm just not hopeful that that's gonna get done without someone like a Walmart or someone stepping forward and offering the band a lump sum guarantee if they do it. And let's be honest, that's really what happened with Sonic Boom, and that's the deal that they got. Walmart was going to take a hit whether the album sold or it didn't sold. Kiss stood to lose nothing because it struck a deal. So I'm not really hopeful for a Kiss album in 2018. As much as I would like to see one, I just don't see it happening. Especially with the way Gene has continued to badmouth the music industry, and then the way he's selling his own material right now. What I think is realistic is an Ace Frehley album. I do see that happening. Ace has been noted that he's done some recording, and Ace seems to continue to be the most creative one of the bunch. So I do see that happening, and I don't think Ace is really hung up on the idea of, well, I could do this and spend time in the studio, but is it really going to sell? Am I really going to make the amount of money that I foresee making off of it? I think Ace wants to feed his creativity and create music. So I think I see that happening. I'd like to see something from Bruce Kulick, a follow-up to BK3 finally. BK3 is a very underrated album in my opinion, and it really stands up to anything else that any solo project that has come out in the last 10, 15 years, in my opinion. It's really, really good. And then the last thing I would really like to see is, with the reemergence of Vinnie Vincent next month, maybe, just maybe
that would be a good album
something
title.
Out of Vinnie.
Yeah, maybe.
I think that would be the most fun out of anything.
Now would be the best time for him to do it because he has the most, hype going on for him now. It's now or never, pretty much. If he lets this opportunity pass him, he's not going to have another chance to do it because now everybody is interested. Now everybody, can see the potential in it. Now the people can see the dollar signs. Now is the time he has to do it. If he doesn't do it, he won't be able to do it. Now, the one other thing I wanted to just jump in about, you were talking about Sonic Boom and the whole Walmart business there. Let's not forget though that Monster was released on a full-fledged record label release.
Sure.
Universal. Now the thing, I'm just trying to say though that what I'm trying to figure out here is, was that a one-time record deal for that, or are they signed to a multiple thing? Because most record labels don't sign a band on one album and that's it, especially not a band like Kiss. So do they have anything owing still to Universal? If they do, what's going to happen? Are they going to be forced to make a studio record, or are they just going to dump out greatest hits records to, fulfill the contract owing that they have with Universal?
Personally, I think if they signed a deal for Universal that they were forced to make another album, I think they would have done another album within the last 5 years.
I think.
Yeah. Well,
I think they are 2000. I kept, I heard or somewhere again that 2018, whether it's in 2018 or the end of 2018, that Kiss gets their rights back to that stuff, and they'll be out of their contract with them. That's why I heard, but I could be wrong. It could be
from a source close to the band.
Really?
That's what I heard. But
interesting.
It'd be. And you know what? I'd love for them to have their own control of their own music, and maybe that's when they would start putting stuff out. And
like
maybe that's why we haven't
Or
seen
not.
anything this last year.
Show us something from King Crimson.
I know.
Yes,
we saw only Kiss World on CD this year. That is it.
That's the only product.
So
really.
that could be the end of
Kiss
it.
as a band.
That could be the end of Universal. I don't know.
I'm just putting that out there because I'm not sure myself. I was just saying, maybe.
Oh no, you could be, right?
No, you could be dead on.
Again, I'm just going by what I thought I heard, and it's with someone from someone in the know, supposedly. But
that's the thing. I mean, I hope that too, because me, I'm a sucker for that stuff. I got a whole, sofa full of these box sets and behind me here, just from one band. If Kiss started doing them, I would love it, because there's so many things you get in there, so many interesting things and little tidbits. I'm sure Alain could confirm just to some degree that there is a lot of all kinds of little memorabilia, minutia that they can stick into kinds of box sets in their warehouses for sure. There's got to be stuff that they could put in that people would be interested in seeing in a box set.
Oh, they can call me anytime to work on the book.
there you go.
It's yes, it really would be great. As for Vinny, would you like something new or something from his archives?
I really wouldn't care.
Because
I'd take either one personally.
He was out for 20 years. What kind of music? What kind of music is he going to put out now? Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, let's think about that for a second. I mean, he's a musician. He's a creative artist. He had to have created something of some in some capacity in the last 20 years, you wouldn't imagine that he hasn't composed anything.
Well, he said on the 3 Sides just recently that they said that he might be bringing his guitar along with them to the Atlanta convention. So they're hinting that he has been, playing and that he has been doing things.
Yeah, well, he also hinted that he would take pre-orders, but that's probably not a good idea.
Oh yeah.
It's probably in his best interest not to go down that road.
Well, yes, but who knows? Yeah. I mean, yeah, for 20 doesn't show up for 20 years. You would think he came up with something, but what kind of style, what kind of music would he be interested in doing?
Who knows? Yeah.
No, I think that's the most intriguing thing is what could we expect from him, or is this just a one-time deal for Vinny, or is Vinny back? If things go well in Atlanta, is Vinny back either on the expo scene? Is he back in a creative type thing? I can't believe that this is just a one-time thing from Vinny and then he's going to go back into obscurity. I really hope that this is a start of something.
Yeah.
And not just a cash grab and then he's off the face of the earth again. So only time will tell, and we'll start to have our answers here in about a month, I guess.
Yes, indeed.
Moving on to some other topics that we're looking for in 2018 is Kiss has never cashed in, and that's really a hard thing to say, even that Kiss has never cashed in on something, but Kiss has never cashed in on Record Store Day. And that's really hard to believe, and I guess maybe it goes back to some ties with the Mercury deal, like Ken was talking about earlier. But what would you like to see if Kiss could do a record day? If Kiss got on board with the Record Store Day,
I have a question.
Absolutely. Yes.
Wasn't a few years ago, I seem to recall, maybe it was a Japan only thing, but I'm not sure. Wasn't the first Kiss album put out as a Record Store Day?
Not
the
here.
First,
not here. Not
like a re-release? The first Kiss album.
Not here.
On Blue Label.
On the Blue Label, just
so they're like looking like the original,
like the original album,
just the 2014, remasters.
And before that, there was nothing. I could swear
looking Tom Shannon's book. I haven't seen it. It's not in there.
Well,
so.
Actually, I don't have volume 1
Maybe
yet,
it was
but
a
I
boot
will
maybe.
when I do.
It could have been a boot. I don't know.
Really?
I don't think they've ever had a Record Store Day.
I know there's a few. I know according to the book, there's quite a few counterfeit first albums
sure.
that are floating around. I mean, who knows? But there's never been an official re-release of that album except for the re-release of the whole catalog that they just did recently, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, what I think that they should do for Record Store Day, and I think everybody has been kind of hinting at this before too, is that they should do a colored vinyl re-release of the solo records in the accompanying color: red for Gene, purple for Paul, green for Peter, blue for Ace. Do that for Record Store Day, or at the very least, maybe even just re-release the single again. Do another one of those for Record Store Day. I mean, the colored vinyl is the thing that people look for in Record Store Day. I've always noticed that. I've gone the last couple of years now, and I've started participating in it, and I've seen that those are the things that sell like that. Or unless you're Neil Young, for some reason, all his records seem to sell out in Record Store Day. But other than that, colored vinyl does great. So do these kind of weird specialty like die cut 45s that are coming out. They do really good. I don't know if they did like some kind of weird like image of Kiss in that kind of die cast shape. That would be something interesting to do. But you're right. No, they've never ever capitalized on that, and that's surprising because I think every band now and their brother, even independent bands I've seen have done Record Store Day releases. Heck, I'm even planning on one for next year. So how come Kiss isn't?
Awesome.
Come on, Kiss is...
Yeah, come on, if Mark is doing it, why is...
Yeah.
There's got to be some legal reason or money issue. Maybe they want too much.
Universal,
or they're not interested, or it's strange. I had this weird idea that if I could get a hold of the Universal Japan I almost wrote the draft letter, but we were a bit late. Would have been a re-release of Double Platinum on silver vinyl.
Oh yeah.
With a Japanese
That's
Japanese only cover with a obi and a whole shebang poster and all that. But it takes time. You have, I think, a year to wait to press vinyl these days. And one of the reasons I've heard from someone informed in the business that the 4 solos is really hard because they would have to have Peter and Ace in there, and the 2 owners of the company probably wouldn't want to have the focus on those releases. So it's as you say, Mark. If they're not doing it, there's got to be some strong legal reasons for that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think it's an excellent point with the solo albums. Is as cool as that would be for the colored vinyl to do it that way.
Would be super cool.
It would be great, and diehard Kiss fans would eat it up. Why would Gene and Paul want to take some of the attention off of them? Granted, when they put out the remasters in '97, well, Ace and Peter were still in the band. Well, Ace and Peter haven't been in the band in quite some time now again. So why go through the effort for a special release when half of it is to people that they bash every time they get a chance to?
Yeah.
Yeah, but when the vinyl got re-released, though, they weren't in the band then.
Sure. But
They
for a
could still
special release, I don't think.
I mean, they can still release that stuff. They released it on a 2014 remasters as solo albums, so I don't see why they can't do it. So, like Alan, I was thinking about this topic today, this one, and that double platinum and silver vinyl crossed my mind, Alan. That's one of the things that popped in my mind. And because, the other reason is because I recently got one of the McCartney colored vinyls, and one of them is silver. It's the best you can make of a silver, with what you got. But it was a pretty good attempt at silver vinyl. It's gray silver. It's kind of, maybe they threw some shiny something in it. I don't know, but that was something that crossed my mind. The solo albums, of course. The other option on the solo albums is not to release all 4. Do a best of the solo albums release.
That would be great.
And then the tie in there, what you could do is you have 4 different colors, so you have to buy all 4 kind of thing.
Evil.
See, it's same album but 4 different colors. See, that's
in typical Kiss fashion.
Exactly.
They make you buy 4 of the same thing.
Yes. So
like I'm always accused of, you are the king of buying music you already have.
That's right.
Which most Kiss fans are very guilty of.
Oh yeah.
It would be exciting. So we'll have a new artwork, presumably something to look forward to. A best of solo albums. Like the French one. That very cool.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they have from all over the world. Really, they're all very cool.
Yeah. The only other release that I thought of would be like because sometimes the bands release a live album, so I thought maybe a live re-released the live, but it's a full show, one of the full shows recorded, and they call it live raw and uncut, call it something like that. That was my idea for that. So
that would be great too.
That'd be
like
great.
like Deep Purple did for Made in Japan. All 3 or 4 concerts in full.
Yeah, exactly.
The 2 in Osaka, the 2 in Tokyo, with all the different versions because they were playing something different every night.
Yep.
And then once in a while you hear the one from Made in Japan. I think that would be really cool indeed.
So yeah, there's a lot they can do.
Yeah. For me, for Record Store Day, what I like to see is, if Kiss is going to do something, they always want to do something in grand scale and bigger than anybody else because they're Kiss and they're the best. Just ask them. So how about
That's right.
how about you do a release of the originals and then follow it up the following year with like the originals too, and do a deluxe package for Record Store Day. Don't just do a single record. We're Kiss. We're going to give you the original, something we haven't produced since 1976, with all 3 original albums and all the original artwork, and hype the shit out of it in typical Kiss fashion, then follow it up the next year with an originals too. That, in my mind, would be would be on the
That'd be
grand
cool, too.
scale. If Kiss is going to do it, they have to do it on the grand scale, and that'd be the way to do it.
Colored vinyl.
Sure.
The original is a cool package. That's true.
So I think that'd be a great thing for them to do, without having to go in the studio to produce new music. You can continue to make money off the music you already have.
Yeah.
Which they're really good at.
Imagine if they did an Originals 3 with Dynasty, Unmasked, Elder, and Preachers of the Night.
Oh, yeah, they love those albums, don't they?
They sell like hotcakes.
Exactly.
So those are our album ideas, some record store ideas. Well, what about video or DVD or Blu-ray? Kiss put out in Vegas on Blu-ray last year. We haven't really gotten any official Kiss products, much of anything as far as video or audio goes this year, other than the Kiss World release in the UK from their summer tour. But what kind of video release would you guys like to see in 2018? Whether it be the much anticipated Kissology 4, or would you like to see something kind of standalone or something back in the archives? What would get your synapses firing, Mark?
I've been hoping for it, and I know that when I heard that one came out with Tommy Thayer talking about this, that I got excited for a little while. Is that rumored full Asylum show that they have somewhere in their archives? Now, I'd love to see that because that's my favorite, non-makeup Kiss album of all time. So I'd love to see a full show from that tour, and in good quality, not this, audience handheld business. I want to see something, with some decently filmed stuff. They had so many decently filmed shows in the 70s that you can see, and even that they have some of them on Kissology. It's a shame that they don't have nearly as many floating around from the 80s, of that quality. It's kind of a shame, actually, But I would, and then nowadays with the Blu-ray being out and everybody and their brother doing Blu-rays as well, I think that the time is right for them to do some sort of a Blu-ray or something, even if they take a show that they've already put out, but a Blu-ray of it. From what I understand, and I'm not the most learned in as far as film technology goes, but from what I've always heard is like, as long as you have the film, the actual original film, you can transfer it to Blu-ray. I heard that it's always the video end of it that's like videotape is the part that they have some trouble with doing, or maybe it's the other way around. I'm not sure, but I know there is a way that you can transfer into Blu-ray and that the transferring looks really good of it. So I'm sure there's something in the Kiss catalog that could be transferred to Blu-ray, quality. And the audio, it's easy enough to put into some sort of Pro Tools, clean it up, and give us, 24-bit, 96 kilohertz resolution or even higher now. Like, they have the 192, like really super high definition audio. Like some of the stuff I have is that high. I think only my dog can hear some of the stuff on that. But it's that good quality, and you can do it, right? But when will Kiss do that? That's what I'd love to see.
It requires a bit of effort, really. That's all.
Yeah, that's the problem. There's no effort going on. That's the problem.
It's unfortunate, but it sometimes really feels like that. It's there are a lot of opportunities, and there's just not taking them.
Yeah.
Video, of course, when you hear video, you want vintage stuff. I didn't know about that Asylum tour, but that would be exciting. The Tokyo 2001 farewell tour is a complete show that was filmed that is available on there was a internet what was it called, streaming that took place. That they should have the film. I don't know what the rights are, but it's full, complete. They were on fire. Would be a cool release. So yeah, of course, Kiss. When you think Kiss video, you think vintage. 70s stuff would be very cool to see again.
Yeah, absolutely. My thoughts are, Kissology is a no-brainer. We've been waiting for it forever, and maybe they can add on to that Kissology, the ones we haven't seen shows, but also put on the documentary if they have it, or if they can do it. Throw that on Kissology too, since they're not going to release it as part of anything else, and I don't know what the deal is, but just put it out. It's already done. Just put it out there. Let the fans enjoy some Kiss's history. And commentary about in the past too. Otherwise, I thought they recorded all their shows for the reunion, right, tour, and they had videos and videos. And they own that stuff. Why don't they put that on their website as the downloadable stuff?
So Metallica does.
That
Put
would
it
be
as
great.
download, because you go, oh yeah, I went to the show. Yeah, I'd like to download that. I'd like to download. It's gonna be, if they're taking care of it, it's gonna be great quality. Because the video was pretty darn good at the time there in the 90s.
Already 21 years, so.
And it might be 1080. I don't know. It's probably 1080. I'm guessing video at least. So I'm thinking it'd be pretty good quality. And shoot, let the fans go to the site, man. We're willing to pay you money for this stuff, but they don't want our money.
And the model works, though. Just like Lonnie just mentioned, Metallica are doing it presently right now. Mm-hmm. And I know tons of Metallica fans love that about their site, that you can go on there and you can get whole shows, the whole video of it. King Crimson does something different where they have all of their shows like soundboard recordings from back from the 60s all the way now, that they have it available to go on in either really high quality or even an MP3. You can buy a whole show for relatively cheap. And sometimes they even give you a show, like during the month, they'll give away one for nothing that you can just go and download for those couple of weeks, right? Mm-hmm. There you go. Other bands are doing it. They can't say, well, we're not sure if it'll work. The model is working. It's working for these bands. The model works.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's proven.
Yeah.
So there you go.
I think that would be cool. I think, a video release, I think some of that, obviously when you think video release, I'm with Alan that you want some archive footage. And in the same breath, people have been waiting forever for a Kissology 4. I think if you did a Kissology 4, it would have to include some vintage 70s type material.
Sure.
Because I can't see them putting out a 3 or 4 disc set focusing solely on, and it's nothing to take away from the current lineup, but I can't see them putting out a package solely from 2001 through 2016 or 17, say.
They won't.
That focuses on the Tommy and Eric era. The 01 show would be great with Eric and Ace. That's a no-brainer for me, because I think a lot of fans missed on seeing that lineup and wish they could have seen that lineup. Yeah. And there are only a handful of shows that existed with that lineup, unfortunately. But I don't think that you can hang your hat on. Yeah, we're going to put out a 4-disc set only with this lineup on it. Go ahead, Kiss fans, go out and eat it up. But if you put it out there and it features never seen footage from 1974 in this location, well, that's going to pique your interest. And again, an 85 Asylum show, as cool as nerds like us think that would be, well, you can't put that out on its own. People aren't just going to go buy an Asylum show from 1985 because they're like, well, who is this? That's Kiss. And that's not Kiss. That's not what Kiss looks like. Well, at a certain period of time, unfortunately or fortunately.
who are those women on the cover?
Yeah,
correct. But I think if you put on there, featuring, or maybe do a bonus disc like that. Maybe you can hang your hat on a Kissology 4 from 2001 through 2016, but you do a bonus disc like you did what they did with previous editions, and at Best Buy you get this 1974 show, and I'm just making stuff up at this point that no one's ever seen. At the Walmart you put on the 1985 Asylum show that no one's seen. Well, and then you get suckers to go out and buy it 3 times again like they did 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Because that's what we did. So if you're going to do something like that, that'd be the way to do it, in my opinion. And you're gonna triple your, if you if you market it like that, you're going to triple your sales with some people. Not all Kiss fans are going to go out and buy 3 copies of it, but a good amount of people I know would.
Yeah, well, because that's the lure, right? You know, if you have something else, if there's something else available that you don't have, the reaction is to go and get it, right? So that's and they know that's how Kiss fans are, right? I mean, you know, all you have to see is just look at the release of Unmasked. They have all those different colored vinyl versions of Unmasked, and there are some collectors who have to have every single color of it: the splatter one, the green one, the red one, the yellow one. Like, they have to have it. It's the same content on it, but it's just different colored vinyl. But that's what people like to collect, right? So.
Yeah.
Well, one other thing I'd really like to see a video release of, and Julian mentioned this when he went and saw Peter's final performance in New York, is that it was professionally filmed.
Oh, yeah.
I would love to see that come out. Julian is of an exclusive club that got to see that, and because it was professionally filmed, and I'm sure there's a lot of legal hoops that Peter would have to jump through to put that out, being that it contains Kiss material on it, even though it's some material he wrote, maybe a lot of material he didn't write for Kiss that's going to be on it. But I would love to see something of that come out as a tribute from Peter, as a salute back to his fans. I'm excited about the fact that what we heard today, that he might be working on that rock album still. But I think something from that performance, I think, would really be special for Kiss fans to see, other than those select few that got to see it live. I think that would be a great release.
Well, why wouldn't he just add that?
I think
Canadian Wi-Fi.
You know.
Yeah.
So why not put that in as a bonus to his now last solo record?
exactly.
You know?
That's perfect, Mark. I agree totally with that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think there might be some legal stuff from the jump through to do that, unfortunately, and I could see people not wanting to work with him. I don't know. Maybe I'm pessimistic.
Okay.
No. What about book releases? Alan has a book release coming out that I'm looking forward to, and
So am I.
But what else?
Can't wait till
What else are you guys looking for more? What piques your interest? Are you looking for more photo books like we talked about a couple weeks ago? Are you looking for what kind of books would get you going? Some kind of magazine specials, biographies from certain people. What do you want, Mark? What do you want? You're ready to jump.
Well, the one thing that I can say for sure is that I'm definitely very excited about Alain's release that's coming up. That's one thing. When I heard about it, I was right away instantly, excited, because I do have the Kiss in Japan book. I did also get the other book the other release that he put out. I showed them both, I think, in that one episode when I was on. And
thank you for that.
Yeah, and I loved it, and I read them frequently still. I keep that one still in the plastic original sleeve that you gave with it, because I want to keep it in great shape, because I love it, right? So I'm really looking forward to whatever comes out next from Alain, that's for sure. But I'll tell you one thing, so far that's the only thing I am excited about, because we've gotten so flooded this year, I think, with books. I mean, we have the Lynn's book came out there, and we had the one from the guys in Sweden there that released that book. Classified. And then they also showed Julian showed the one from Spain that came out just now, the Paul book, right? And I mean, there are so many things that came out. I mean, Julian released his book there. That's right behind Ken's head there. That came out. Kiss on Tour there. That's another kind of book. Like, for books, I think we're doing really good as Kiss fans. I think there's a lot to get. There's a lot of things available, and I think Alain's is going to be the icing on the cake as far as that goes. But I mean, I can't really. I think on one end it's good that I don't really have any kind of request for anything, because we already had gotten spoiled with so many great Kiss books. I don't really know what else I would want. That's why I'm looking forward to Alain's, because it's something different that we can look forward to, a specific section of the world focusing on Kiss, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, besides Alain's, which I've already ordered.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I would like a continuation of the Nothing to Lose book. Continue where that left off, and maybe go to, 1980 or something like that, around there, maybe even up to the Elder. I think that would be interesting. If they could pull a book off like that, that'd be very interesting. Yeah, because that was a great book. And otherwise, I'm waiting for the other book from Ross Bradley.
Yeah,
That looks
yeah.
very promising. Of all the pictures and like a day-by-day history of Kiss from the beginning. And I don't know. I think it goes. I don't know how far he's going to go. Maybe up to Creatures or something. I can't remember.
Up to Creatures, I think.
Yeah, and that just looks. Some of the pictures they shown there are just, like, wow, I've never seen that before. There's just all kinds of cool pictures, and I'm sure, and he's going to cover the costumes and things like that, changes, I think, in there and so on. But I think it's going to be really a cool book. I think it's supposed to come out in the first half of next year. So
I hope so.
what does Alain want for next year besides his own book?
Well,
Besides his own book to come out.
besides my own book, indeed. Well, I also like to enjoy other people's work. One thing I've noticed over over recently, on Facebook, you have a lot of people posting pictures. It would be my wish would be a photo book of the Dynasty tour, because I really realized they actually look great, and they're bashed a lot for looking like Las Vegas and all the colors.
Right.
But once they're live and they're playing, it was a very interesting stage, and they looked great. And there are so many photos we haven't seen. I would love a 1979 Dynasty photo book of that era, because it's I realized we haven't seen many pictures of that tour, and I think they look great. Also, there's a book in the works on Kiss Collectibles, which looks promising, like coffee table book. But I don't think we'll have it in 2018. But as Mark said, we're really spoiled as Kiss fans in terms of books publications. So if we don't have the music, at least we have the pictures. And,
yes, that's right.
And again, it's fans putting those out.
That's true.
Unfortunately, it's it's maybe difficult again legally for all kinds of reasons for the band to put it. But at least the fans are taking matter in their own hands, and for other fans to enjoy. That's a great development.
I agree.
Yeah, I'm looking forward. I agree. We've been spoiled with books, especially the second half of this year, with what's come out. But I am looking forward to Ross's book. I've been looking forward to that for a couple of years now, ever since I first heard about it. I think that'll be exceptional, and the teases that he's posted have been really nice as well. So I'm looking forward to that, and who knows, our fearless leader Julian may have something up his sleeve too. He always seems to have a project that he is secretly working on and surprises us with something. So I'd like to always look forward to Julian's releases and Alan's release and Ross's release. I'd like to see, and I don't think we'll get it, and I've talked about it for a long time. I'd like to see a release from Bruce Kulick documenting his time with the band.
He talked about it on the cruise, he said the publishers want dirty stories, and
that's not Bruce.
But that's right. So that's why he's not into it, and he's had trouble. But he did say that Bob was writing a book.
Oh.
Now that I remember, Bob
Kulick was that would be interesting. Bob doesn't care.
yeah, I know he doesn't.
Well,
Bob would be interesting though, about his almost joining the band, and then in '78 working with Paul, and then his brother ended up joining the band.
He worked with a lot of other artists, so there's probably material for a publisher to write a book. And he said he was working on one. So
cool.
I think that'd be great as well. I think a Bruce book would be very interesting. But you said that if the publisher wants dirty stories, well, that's not Bruce Kulick's style at all.
And there goes Alan. Alan had to leave us because he had. I think
Alan has to work for a living like the rest of us.
He has to work. So yeah, he left.
And we're recording this in the evening, and North America, and it's time for Alan to go to work in Japan, I guess.
Yeah.
So Alan had to pop out on us, but we appreciate Alan jumping on. We always like when he is able to participate, and we are looking forward to his releases, not only, with Kiss in 78. And who knows, maybe Alan has something more up his sleeve even after that. He continues to surprise us as well. So we've talked albums, we've talked record store day, we've talked video, we've talked books. Anything else you guys want from Kiss? Any odds and ends? Like, Mike, do you want a Gene Simmons soap dispenser for your bathroom, and the soap comes out his mouth and that it's red or something like that?
Red soap. Yeah.
What do you
push the pump?
What's going to get your dander up for a Kiss release?
Actually, what's funny though? We were talking about this once, I think, last year on the Christmas special that we did. We were talking about what kind of Kiss-related stuff we wanted for Christmas, or what kind of stuff we had. One of the things that I do have here and there, and I don't have very much of it, I only just still have a couple of things, is I have Kiss Christmas ornaments that I have.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that I kind of like, because I like the whole Christmas season, obviously, like most people do. But if there's one thing that I don't mind the idea of collecting, is those kind of things, because I really like that holiday, and having something like that from Kiss is something that, is something that I enjoy. So if they would make more stuff from that end of things, I would be cool with that, because it's something that interests me. Other than that, I can't really think of very many other things that I would want. I mean, put it this way, there's a lot of things that are out there available for the Kiss fan. They have, signature model guitars that you can get from Paul Stanley, from Gene. Mm-hmm. Even now, Bruce is going to be putting out a reissue of the ESP banana guitar that he plays, that yellow one from the Asylum era. So, I mean, you can even get that if you want. I mean, the only thing that they haven't put out, and probably because it's be a hell of a lot of money, is that they put out like a custom signature series Eric Singer custom drum set, like that he uses at Kiss, or they did a reissue of Eric Carr's gigantic kit from like Hot in the Shade available for just that would be crazy. Whereas cash, like, I mean, for like people who kind of collect that kind of stuff, but I can't think really of many other things that interest me, at least. I mean, everybody sometimes talks about comics, and I know that they had an episode just recently where they talked about a lost Kiss comic that was supposed to have come out.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I don't know how many people are into comics, but I'm not really into the whole Kiss comic thing, to be honest. But what about you guys?
The only other thing still for me is the music and deluxe packages, like I've talked about before, where to start with the first album. Just get a Kiss deluxe box set of the first album. You put in all the the posters for when they were touring, some posters, other stuff. Put a live show on there, whether it's DVD, Blu-ray, whatever, and any the demos that they had before that, even they could put that on there too. Some of those demos that were recorded, Eddie Kramer, which we've had before anyway. But just put it all together in one nice box, and I think it would be just cool to have. Maybe I don't know if they want to remaster it at all, but or remix it. They could, I guess, potentially. If they're going to do that, a remix, I'd want them to do the second album for sure. Hotter Than Hell, if it's possible. But yeah, put 2 a year or something. 2 deluxe sets a year, and just kind of slowly release them out. Put them out. Maybe more than that, but I'd like to have that. Otherwise, I don't know. Scooby-Doo 2 movie, I guess. Oh yeah,
they're working on that.
They are doing it. I know. I know. It'll probably be out next year, I'm guessing.
I would imagine. A Scooby-Doo movie doesn't really get me excited. I watched the first one time, and it sat on the shelf since then. So maybe
I think it's good.
but to each their own, I guess. You know.
Yeah.
Whatever. You know, and if that's what gets young people in the Kiss, I mean, I can see that's exactly why they're doing it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's for sure.
Broaden their audience. To keep broadening that audience and hitting up the young fans and start them young and keep them going. For me, this kind of goes back to the book thing a little bit, and we've talked about it on the show before, and that is a tour book compilation of taking those tour books from the 70s, those pictures, and just combining it all into one.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. We've talked about that before on the show.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that would be a remarkable thing for Kiss fans. When we talked about that 1977 to 1980 book, it just looks really nice, and it's just like your typical just great coffee table book type thing. I think that type of book would be amazing to see. Documenting all those tours in one big tour book. In one nice package.
Yep.
Other than that, I'd like to see, you know, it goes. I'm with Ken. It goes back to the music with me. I'd like to see some more deluxe type releases. I mean, and that's being reasonable. I mean, you hear some Kiss fans talking, well, I want, you know, shooting for the moon type releases. Well, you know, let's keep things in perspective and, you know, think about what actually could really happen. And I think it's very doable to see these deluxe editions happen, not in a little bit different vein than what the Deluxe Love Gun was done. I wasn't a fan of how that was thrown together.
Yeah.
It's just really essentially what it seemed like anyway at the end of the day. But I would like, you know, get me excited about your past catalog. I mean, you have such a great past catalog, and you always market yourself on your past catalog. Well, do something with it and put it out in some deluxe fashions, whether it comes with a DVD of that tour, whether it comes with demos from that tour, whether it comes with anything. Just Gene and Paul sound, just them talking about the recording or the making of those albums. I don't care. Do something to get me excited about your back catalog. Because that's your bread and butter, is your back catalog. When you're Kiss.
You know what? But that you brought up a good point about, you know, talking about the music. And one of the things I used to talk about, I remember I mentioned this in an episode way back, was why haven't Kiss ever done a classic albums thing on VH1 like how all these other bands have done it? They could easily get Bob Ezrin, bring him into the studio with the master tapes for Destroyer, sit down and go through the whole record top to bottom with it and play the separate tracks. I mean, he has the tracks because he did it when he did Destroyer Resurrected. So they do have availability of those tracks. So why not go in to there and do one with that? I mean, I think people would eat that up. I mean, every time, and I still do this, I still look online to see when and if there ever be another one of those released. I mean, the last couple of ones that I saw was they'd had one for Damn the Torpedoes for Tom Petty. I grabbed that one. They had one for Peter Gabriel, so I grabbed that one. They had one for Pink Floyd's Wish You Were Here. That's a little bit more recent too. I mean, these are amazing things when they're sitting in the studio and putting up individual tracks and listening to how just the guitar track is by itself and what inspired these things to start up. And Kiss could do that easily, you know, with someone like Bob Ezrin, or even with Eddie Kramer. They could do it with Rock and Roll Over and some of these other records.
Didn't
right?
they do an Alive one? I want to say they did an Alive one.
They did. I think it was one of those things where they did when Kiss Ruled the World kind of special. I think it was. Remember when they had it, and Fred Durst was all pissed off saying that he didn't realize that it was so fake and that the audience was added in.
Yeah, they did something with Alive. I mean, it's just going back.
Yeah, but 10, I mean,
15 years.
Deep Purple, they have Deep Purple.
Yeah, there's tons of them
it too, and Elton John. I saw some recent ones. Elton John, I think it was Yellow Brick Road.
Yellow Brick Road.
Right. So
they did one with Judas Priest too for British Steel. They did one with them. You know, there's so many of them. Yeah, I'd pay to see that. I mean, and because I'd love to hear what the stories are behind some of the songs, and I'd love to hear just those individual tracks put up, you know.
They did Fleetwood Mac recently too. That was very interesting. I watched that one. It was how they, and then they, you know, they play just certain parts of one of the tracks, where you're just hearing an instrument or two, and you really hear things that you don't realize were there. When you listen to the actual album, it's amazing. So.
Yeah, they did that with Steely Dan's Asia too. I thought, and that's one of my favorite ones. When I watched that one, it's unbelievable what you hear when they solo stuff. I mean, they had a part in there where they soloed it, and the drummer was playing a garbage can lid in the part. I never even knew that was in there. You know what I mean? Like, see what I mean? Like you can pick up things that you would never even.
That's a real garage band. You're exactly right.
There you go.
Cool.
So, those are our wants or expectations, or and I think we stuck with a good baseline. We weren't. I don't think anybody was throwing anything out there was just totally unreasonable.
Yeah.
For our expectations of what we'd like to see in 2018.
Yeah.
I'd like to see some of these things come to fruition. I doubt I don't see all of them coming to fruition, but I'd like to see some of these things happen.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to see something from Vinny. I'd like to see Kiss market their back catalog, because that is their bread and butter, is their back catalog. Well, pump it out there. I'll go buy those. I'll go buy those original 6 albums again if you repackage them and make them form that I want. If you do it right, correct.
Do it right.
So, do it. I'd like to see it, and I personally would like to see those 6 albums repackaged in a way that is in a great deluxe edition more than I would like to see a new Kiss album in some respects.
Wait a minute, Lonnie. I just had an idea. They could put out Kissmas lights.
I think they
and they have the logos. Do they have them already?
Yeah, I can. I think I have them up. On
you have them?
Yeah, actually, they're hanging
out of your tree.
Up my staircase at my house.
Oh wow! Yeah. So they actually did do that. Okay.
Oh yeah, it's a whole thing. My wife really likes it when I bust those out.
I'm sure she loves that.
Oh gosh, yeah. So so there's nothing they can't put a Kiss logo on. Come on, there's Kiss logos on bowling balls. So
yeah.
And coffins. So so what about the listeners? What were you guys? What did we miss? What are we not thinking of that's blatantly obvious that you would like to see from Kiss in 2018? Do you want to see a tour? Nobody mentioned Kiss touring. What kind of tour would you want? That's a whole other conversation. Do you want Kiss to go on tour? How do you want Kiss to go on tour? They haven't played major markets in the U.S. in a few years now.
Mm-hmm.
Who could they tour with? Maybe we're teasing a show for a couple weeks from now, but we can talk about that later. It's a whole show by itself, what we'd want from a Kiss tour.
There you go.
Do you want Kiss to tour? Do you want an album? Do you want a new book? Do you want some video? And give us your examples of what you want from all of those. Of course, you can find us on KissFAQ.com. You can find the show on iTunes, YouTube, Spreaker, Google Play, wherever you get your podcast. The KissFAQ podcast is available. Julian was not able to make it this week, but we anticipate his triumphant return to this award-winning podcast real soon. My dad's issued it many awards. And we will see you next time on the KissFAQ podcast. Thank you for listening.
Thank you for spending time listening to the KissFAQ podcast today. All sales are final. There are no refunds. If you'd like, look us up on Facebook or come over to the KissFAQ message board and discuss the topic we broadcast today. Don't forget to rate us on iTunes, Spreaker, or wherever you've listened to the show. We hope you'll join us again.